Broadcasting live 24/7. 24/7. 24/7. Broadcasting live 24/7. 24/7. Millennium Radio 90.5 megahertz.
My favorite jams.
Best music.
Today's best music.
Azcool for life. Azcool for life. Cool for life.
Daddy hadn't been watching me, wouldn't be here today.
Today's best music.
Azcool for life.
Father knows best. Father knows best.
Sounds beyond cool.
Music.
I just wanna tell the truth.
Azcool for life.
The sound beyond cool.
You're listening to Azcool for Life on Millennium Radio.
Cool for life.
It's one of those beautiful days when you just tune into the radio and then you're thinking, wow, it's a Saturday. Cool for life on your radio in the afternoon. That's what we do, just like that on your radio. And of course, kick-starting the show with Jojo Mangaza. Last week we were talking to him live on radio, and today we're just playing his vocals and sounds just like that. That's how it is, right? When you're a musician. Alright, and today in the studios I have people coming from Refugee Alliance right here in the studio. I've got the director of the Refugee Alliance, that's Sina Saltbones. And not forgetting the director of Radio. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
Great.
Okay.
Great. Thank
How are you, Sina?
I'm really great, thank you.
Sina Saltbones. I was asking you earlier on, Sina Saltbones, do you have some salt in your bones?
I do.
All right.
I have it for sale.
Mm-hmm. For sale?
Yeah.
Okay.
Extra money.
Extra monies, huh? All right. And of course, they're coming from Maheba refugee camp. They've just they came last night, and then we said that before you people leave, we want to talk to you, and we are finding out they are working. And of course, talking about Stephen Kaumba, he is the director in Zambia, and of course, their funders. That's the director now, Sina Saltbones, who are the people funding the refugee. First of all, let's start by talking to the funders. How are you doing, Saltbones, Miss Saltbones?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Okay. How was your experience in Zambia now that today you'll be flying out of Zambia?
You know, I've been having 3 weeks now in Maheba refugee camp.
3 weeks?
3 weeks.
Okay.
The camp is like 2.5 hours away from Solwezi in northwestern province.
Okay.
And it's kind of far away. It's really far away from Norway.
Okay.
From Norway, from my city. It's a long journey. And it's like a parallel world. It's really strange.
Okay.
For me, it's really strange to be there and to go back now to the other world. And even coming to Lusaka yesterday from the camp, where people are not allowed to go out from the camp.
From the camp, yeah.
They need to stay there. They have little food. They have no doctor. They can hardly get by. And then you come to Lusaka and everything is so much better.
Okay.
So it's really strange, but I'm really, really grateful. It's been 3 wonderful weeks.
All right. How did you find the hospitality of the Zambian people?
They're very kind, very kind. And I love the humor. When people meet me with humor, I love that.
Oh, okay. All right, coming to you, Mr. Stephen Kaumba, who is the director in Zambia right there, and of course coming from the Refugee Alliance. How has been your experience? I don't know how long. When did you start working there?
Actually, I'm a co-founder of Refugee Alliance.
All right.
Yeah, and I've been working for Refugee Alliance since its starting in 2011.
Okay.
He is actually the reason why we started Refugee Alliance.
All right, the big brain behind the Refugee Alliance.
He is the reason why I am in Zambia now and why Refugee Alliance exists.
Okay. All right, that's
I think
great.
you should tell about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks.
So it started in 2011.
Yeah, officially we started in 2011. But before that, I ran it myself as a simple project.
Okay.
From a small city in the middle of Norway called Namsos, where I lived from 27. And that was after I had been in Zambia for 2 years, living in the same refugee camp as a refugee, coming from Congo. So I lived in that refugee camp for 2 years, and by then the camp was quite huge, with more than 40,000 refugees from all across Africa. And I'm really grateful to Zambia, which has shown hospitality to many refugees from all across Zambia. So thanks a lot to Zambian people for that hospitality. And through their hospitality, I was given asylum in Zambia, and I stayed in the camp for 2 years, and I was resettled to Norway. But when I reached Norway, it was a different world where I had several choices to make. I had good health. The health system was great. I had a doctor, and I had fridge filled with food. I had so much opportunities. I could go to school, but behind me, again 40,000 refugees in the camp that had no opportunity at all, especially children who could not go to school simply because their parent cannot afford to pay their school fees, or single mothers whose husband have died on the way as they were fleeing from war. Those people, their experiences, I could not disconnect myself from them. I just felt that still Maheba was my home, and the people that I left behind were my family. So I started the project that I called Bridge of Hope.
Bridge of Hope.
Yeah, to give hope to the refugees that remain behind. And for me, my target was the children, that to give them an opportunity to go to school and be educated, and tomorrow they may be the leaders. One of them may be the UN secretary, or another one may be a doctor, and so on. So I initiated the Bridge of Hope project. I had no money, so I had to collect empty bottles in the streets and in trashes, bottle of Coca-Cola and Fanta. I could sell them and make money. And I opened an account with an Norwegian bank, where I put on saving all the money that I was earning from the empty bottles. And after a year, I had saved quite enough to start my project, Bridge of Hope. And I sent children to school in Maheba. At a secondary school. This is how the project started, and then later on I moved to a second level with women. These single women having children, and it's quite difficult for them to take care of those children when there are no job opportunity in the camp, and so to survive or to live it's quite challenging. Some of them have to live, to make money through undignified ways. That would be maybe sex work. And I thought we could do something. These women, they are potentially equipped. They only lack a financial opportunity. If given an opportunity, they could start a small business and earn some money and take care of their children, and earn some money with value, with self-worth, than through sex work. And this is the reason why I started a small project which I called Women Entrepreneurs, which was given microloans to women, starting with a business management workshop, where we'll train the women in entrepreneurship, on saving, and making a business plan, and principles of accounting. And then at the end of it, they will submit their business proposal, and we'll give them a loan. And then they will work with coaching from the loan officer on weekly basis, and making SWOT analysis of their businesses. And the end, after 8 months, they will repay the loans without interest rate. So we started with 8 women, and the project made a huge difference in the lives of those women. And I ran that until 2010 when I met Sigrun. What we call a Sina. So it's very easy to call.
Really? So that's a short name?
Sina.
For short?
It's my real name. I have 3 names, but I just choose one because they're so difficult.
Okay, I know they're difficult, but just mention them.
Okay, I'm Sigrun, Sina, Saltbones. Try to repeat that.
Okay, say it once again.
Sigrun, Sina, Saltbones.
Sigrun, Sina, Saltbones.
Very good.
All right, yeah, you were explaining earlier on.
Yeah, that's right. And so I met Sina. She was working for a Norwegian organization as a chief information officer, I think, and she's been working there for more than about 10 years, I think, with immigrants living in Norway, working for integration. And I met her. She was making documentaries about immigrants and refugees living in Norway and their experience and so on. So she asked me if she could make a documentary of me, of my life and my experience. Both as a refugee and as living as a resident in Norway. And so I made we made the documentary. And in the end of the documentary, I told her that I was running this Bridge of Hope project, and she was moved.
I was shaken. I was shaken because I had listened to his story. I was behind the camera. And I was supposed to interview him, but luckily he could go on and go on because I was just crying. I was not professional because the story he told me of his life, of his suffering, how he was suffering because of his humanitarian work, work for human rights. Then after, when he then told me that in spite of all the suffering, he gave his life. He humbled himself and he humiliated himself for picking bottles. Only poor people do that in Norway. So he did that in order to help others. I was really shaken. So
I should say, actually, there are very few people who would maybe live a certain life, then later on they find a better life, and then they look back at the people they've left. Others would say, okay, now I'm comfortable, life moves on. But I should really say thumbs up to you, Mr. Stephen, for just coming back and say, okay, I have left 1,000 people out there. Here I am enjoying life, but all the same, I need to also extend this life to other people. Whatever little I have, I should give it to them as well. All right, coming to you, Sina. All right, and the other names as well attached to you. All right. Why did you decide to work with the refugees?
I think I've had like a burden in my heart for refugees all my life. I was brought up in a Christian family. So they told me that you don't only live for yourself, you have to help your neighbor. Our family is big. It consists of all people in the world. We're one family. So that's how I grew up. And my mother and father brought refugees, immigrants, legal and illegal, into our home. So they taught me that. And I'm a composer. I make songs. And I started from I was a teenager to make songs about refugees. And many years went. And then I started to work with refugees in Norway, like immigrants. They are not very liked. They're not very well seen in Norway because Norwegians tend to think that, well, they will take away our possibilities. They will take our jobs. They will take our money. So I was working with that, trying to sensitize the people to see that refugees who have suffered, well, we should receive them, and they have been treated indignified in war, in a refugee camp. Let's treat them with dignity, the dignity that they deserve as children of God. We are one family. So I was working with that, but I had like an urge inside of me that to do more for those people who are. So then Stefan came along and told his story in my documentary, and shook my ground. So then I decided, let me quit my job, let me take a bank loan, let us start this foundation, Refugee Alliance, and work with the people who are still suffering. They haven't still come out of the suffering. They're still in the camp. So we're working with them. And that was, I think, the best decision in my life.
All right. We are talking to Mr. Stephen Kaumba, the director in Zambia for Refugee Alliance, and also Sina Saltbones, who's the Refugee Alliance director right here on your radio. And of course, we are talking. They're just coming from Maheba refugee camp. They came in yesterday, and today we said, before you decide to move out of Lusaka, why not have a chance to just talk on radio live? All right, and of course, this time around, let's find out from you, how has it been? You started this alliance, let's say, in the Bridge of Hope from the start, somewhere in 2011, right?
I started Bridge of Hope earlier, around 2008.
Oh, earlier, 2008.
But in 2011, that's when we joined hands,
with
Sina and
Sina.
To found Refugee Alliance.
Okay, before maybe you joined hands with Sina, how was your experience like? As you were like working on your own and trying to just help?
It was really challenging because I was new in Norway and I did not have money enough, but still I had to serve others. So it was really challenging to raise all the funds to meet the requirement. For example, those students going to school at secondary school at Maeba High School, we have to pay 1,650,000 per year per student. So if you have 10 students, it's 15 million. Over 15 million, and they will need uniforms, they'll need books. So it was really challenging. So I had to pick empty bottles every weekend. I had to make an arrangement with the schools and hospitals so that those bottles that they collect, they don't throw them, and then I will collect them. And at the same time, I had to use my personal money.
How much were you making per bottle? Like maybe Zambian kwacha?
2 bottles will make like 5 kwacha.
Okay, 5 kwacha rebased.
Like 5 kwacha rebased.
Okay.
Yes, 2 bottles of 1.5 1 liter and a half.
Big bottles.
2 big bottles. But the small bottles is like 1 bottle, 1 kwacha.
I think so.
Okay. All right, and of course, you are listening to a special program right here on your radio station, and we are talking to Mr. Stephen Kaumba, who is the director in Zambia for the Refugee Alliance, and also Sina Saltbones, who is the director for Refugee Alliance right here on your radio. Coming to you, Sina Saltbones, people, and of course, the people right there in the camp. First of all, was this the first time you were visiting the camp, maybe the Maheba refugee camp?
No, it's not. Last year I was also visiting Maheba. So this year I met many of the people again from last year.
Your first time when you visited the camp, how was your experience like?
Actually, my first time to visit a refugee camp was long ago. It was in 1999.
Okay.
So we were still young, all of us then. And it made a huge impression on me. It really made a huge impression. So in 2007, I visited several refugee camps in Uganda. And then I think it must have been God. I think kind of he spoke to me, and at least I decided, and I wrote down on a piece of paper, I will use my life to serve refugees and give them the hope from God.
Okay.
And after that, things have kind of fallen into place. I did not know Stephen, so I didn't plan it. But God, I think God planned it without me knowing it, and here I am.
Okay. All right. You know, there are a lot of people out there who have never really been to a refugee camp, especially in Lusaka, and I am one of those people. Tell us, Mr. Stephen, just your experience in the camp. How is it like, so that we can have a feel of what it what it is to be in the refugee camp?
From my experience, a refugee camp, it's like a prison
Okay.
with invisible fences where you are confined and you have to live there without knowing when you will go out of that camp, without knowing whether you will return to your home country, when you will return to your home country, or you would be there for how long you will be there, or they will get you out of that camp to another country. So you live with uncertainty every day, and the more you stay there, the more desperate you become. You will be in hopelessness each and every day that goes by. And it's very dark in the night. We have few electricity, like few houses with electricity that's for the officers, government officers working there, like teachers and others, like police officers. But for all the refugees, they really live in the dark. And it's small houses, like muddy made, and with grass and with no bed. Many people sleeping on the floor.
On the floor.
And I slept on the floor for 2 years. And just would imagine from one owning a house and working and earning money, and in a day, because of persecution in his home country or because of war, he would lose all that he owned once in his life, and coming from the rank that he had in his life to the bottom with nothing at all. That's a great challenge, and that was kind of my experience. I had never cultivated in my life, so being in the camp where there's no food, you'll get ration for a few months, and later on you have to cultivate to live on your own. So it was very challenging. I had to learn to cultivate and grow maize. This is how many people have to live. There's no opportunity, there is no doctor. And the health system isn't that's good, and so it is really, really challenging. People live in extreme poverty, really extreme poverty. I remember sometimes you had to eat in order to make or end. We were receiving by then from the World Food Program. We were receiving a glass of cooking oil that you have to live on the whole month. A glass of cooking oil, a small glass of cooking oil, and you have to live on the whole month. And you receive the lids of a 20-liter container. That lids, that's the amount of salt that you get to live on the whole month. And that's the type of life that you live. And you receive 5 to 6 kilos of sorghum or maize to live on for the whole month. And that's what you receive, and the rest you will have to survive on your own. So it is really challenging.
I have met many families where they've lost the father in the war, and with one mother and 7 children, and she can't give her children meat or fish or nothing with protein, never. So they just eat sweet potatoes, maize, sometimes some rice, and many I've spoken to, they don't eat. Some days they don't eat because they don't have enough food. So it's like you can't imagine that this world is existing at the same time we are sitting here in the radio. They are there, and I was there yesterday. I spoke with Stefan about this in the morning. It's like I'm feeling divided. I was there. I was sitting in the hut of a single mom a few days ago, and she's a good singer. So I sang together with her, and we planned to make some songs together. But she had really nothing. She had nothing. I saw a small bucket where she kept all her things, and that was all she had. A small bucket, and all the things she owned was in that bucket, and there was no light. So I had to flash my mobile in her face from time to time, just to see her. And there is really no light, and people can't afford even candles. So a few of them use a few candles from time to time, but they're saving on everything they can. Because it's like Stefan says, it's a big kind of prison. They are safe, right? They came from war. They came from Congo, and we know the atrocities happening there. in Somalia, we know, the things happening. So it's good that they survived, because many of their families, many of their friends, they have seen them being killed.
Okay.
But I think even those traumas, even the things they have seen, like seeing, I spoke to a mom, and she said, I can hardly live here, and I'm poor, but the thing that is bothering me most is remembering those 7 children that the rebels killed in front of my eyes. And every night I miss them, and now I'm going to be forced to go back to the country where those rebels still live, and I'm afraid. So I think that the poverty is extreme.
Okay.
We should not allow it. We should really do something about that.
All right. We take a musical break. On the other side, we continue talking to Sina Saltbones, who's the director for Refugee Alliance, and Stephen Kaumba, who's also the director in Zambia for Refugee Alliance, right here. Playing a song coming from Regina Mwanza, simply called He Lives.
Him to the soldiers to be crucified. They planted a crown of thorns, they put it on his head. They mocked him, they whipped him every way they could. They pierced both his hands, and he cried, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. Forsaken me. He died on the cross, but on the third day he lives again. He lives. 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 For sure he rose again on that very third day. When Mary went to the grave, they found an angel. He said, fear not, for I know you seek Jesus, who was crucified, but now he's not here. Go home, tell everybody he's risen.
That's a wonderful song coming from the lady Regina Mwanza, simply called He Lives, right here on your radio stations from the album My God is Good. All right. And earlier on, before that musical break, we were talking and we continue talking to Sina Saltbones, who is the director of Refugee Alliance, and not forgetting Stephen Kaumba, who is the director also from Refugee Alliance in Zambia. And they just came from Maheba refugee camp right here. And all right, let's talk about the songs on a lighter note. It was really breaking earlier on and I couldn't really stand it. Let's talk about the song that you did. There's a song that you did, it's called On My Way.
Yeah, I recorded a song last year called On My Way, and it's a song about a refugee girl that I met. She's from Africa, but she's from Eritrea.
Okay.
And she told me her story, how she traveled with her mom and how she sat behind on a car, and she was traveling through the landscape, and as the morning came, she was looking at the landscape and thinking that I pray that these people will not have my problems, that it will be a safer day even for me. And she said she was not afraid, but it was strange for her to travel. The only time she was afraid was when she got into the boat to cross the Mediterranean Ocean. Then she was afraid.
Okay.
But this song is for her, one of the sweetest girls I've ever met. She now lives in Norway.
Okay.
She managed. She's okay. She's getting married, actually.
Wow. All right, that's nice. Talking about marriage, okay, I know we'll come back to the song. Talking about marriage, Mr. Steven, are you married?
Yeah, of course.
There are people out there maybe who
Why are you not asking me?
you are not exclusive. It's coming back to you.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
I know the joke will work out. There are people out there maybe who could be saying, I would love to meet this man, and if anything, why not? Okay.
Unfortunately, to those, they are quite late. Yeah, I'm married to Nicole, my beautiful wife, and we have a beautiful daughter called Marcia.
Okay.
They all live in Canada.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, coming to you.
I was just joking.
I know you were joking, but are you married?
No.
Okay.
I'm
All
not.
right. So, okay. Any prospects from Africa?
Well, if God wants.
Okay.
If God wants, he'll pop up somewhere.
But God says, I'll give you the desires of your heart.
Amen.
Okay, so what are your desires of your heart? Africa or Norway?
You know, for me, I'm not so very concerned with geography, with culture, with color, with race.
Okay.
I don't care.
All right.
I don't care. What I care about is that I would like at least my man to be a man of God.
Okay.
Someone who could pray with me. Someone who'd like to also work for the poor, for the refugees.
I was wondering if you're going to leave that one. Who's going to be supportive in your work?
Someone who
okay.
can be that. And if he can sing with me, even better.
Some men with voices out there. Sing with me even better. All right. Okay, we're talking about the song, and of course, let's play the song that you did. On the other side, we'll continue talking right here on your radio.
Change as morning light arises. People on this foreign place sleep as I pass by. I hope they can wake tend to fail and lose the way I get from you. Here I am, a stranger. No one really knows me. Embrace me, see me through. I'm home when I'm with you. On my way through the night I travel. Lead my way and let day break. Take my hand, owner of all world. Lead me to a safe place in here. Take me home. Hey, yeah, take me home.
Beautiful song, and the artist is right here in the studio who did that song, and of course a nice vocal, and the way everything was just put together. I will almost ask you, do you sing for Hugh songs?
No,
All right.
unfortunately.
Ah, okay.
Unfortunately. I love them.
Unfortunately. All right. And is this the only song you've done, or maybe there are other songs that we are supposed to look forward to?
I have several songs on YouTube, but
Okay.
this is the only one on iTunes and Spotify.
Okay.
Up to
All right.
now, I have 300 songs
300.
awaiting to be recorded.
All right. They're just burning in you.
And they're already there. I recorded them as like a sketch,
Okay.
but
Being mixed and all.
the money is for now going to Maheba. So all my money is now used in Maheba.
Okay. All right. Okay, Mr. Steven, do you sing as well?
No, my voice is really bad.
Or
for me
maybe
to
you sing
sing.
the layer. They say Chilea, you
Yeah,
know?
Chilea.
And someone
That's
was
right.
telling me Chilea is also a voice. So
It is.
you add your Chilea and then God will fine tune it.
The goodness is that I think God doesn't care
Yeah.
if the voice is good or not. As long as we praise Him from the bottom of our heart, and that will be always a good fragrance in His face. And I do believe, as the Bible says it, everything else will pass by, but praise and worship will be forever.
Amen.
I imagine being in the presence of God, even with my so chilea voice, I'll still sing unto the Lord and say, Holy, holy, holy.
All
is
right.
the Lord.
That was a nice one. Give us a freestyle also, Sina.
A freestyle,
Uh-huh.
like singing here and now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, what should I sing then? Okay, I'll sing a few sentences of a song that I love, and I know that people know this song.
Okay.
And all of those who really need a word from God, who are kind of broken or hopeless, please sing with me, huh?
Mm-hmm.
'Cause God will make a way where there seems to be no way. He works in ways we cannot see. He will make a way for me. He will be my guide. Keep me closely to His side. With love and strength for each new day. He will make a way. He will make a way.
All right, great. All right. We are talking to Sina Saltbones, of course, the director of Refugee Alliance, and of course, not forgetting Mr. Stephen Kaumba, who is the director in Zambia for the same alliance, Refugee Alliance, right here. Talking about music, let's talk about Jojo Mwangaza. Last week, I was talking to Jojo Mwangaza live on radio, and of course, he was telling me in the background, I visited Maheba refugee camp, and apparently today I'm talking to the people that invited Jojo Mwangaza.
Yes, you do.
What was the reason behind you inviting him to the camp?
Well, we got to know him in Norway.
Okay.
As he lives in Norway and we live in Norway. And we had some praise and worship events together.
Okay.
Where I sang with him also. And then Pastor Stefan here at my side, he invited him to come and see the life of the refugees. And then he said, well, I could make a free concert for them, just to give them some hope and give them a good night of dancing and enjoyment and praise. And we thought that was a really good idea. So we brought him, and he brought his team, and they're all good musicians, and they're cool people. And so he had 5 singers and a band of 5 or 6 and his technicians. So it was a big crew rolling into the camp.
Oh, wow.
And it was an outdoor concert. And the night was getting dark. There's no electricity there. So we had 2 generators giving the energy. And we had 5 light bulbs
Okay.
that lit up the stage. 5 normal light bulbs.
All right. And people enjoyed themselves.
1,500 refugees, imagine, crowding around the stage as he was singing, even on the hilltops around. They were full of people.
Okay. Talking about the artists, some other artists who are listening to you right now live on radio, and then they're just moved by the guest that Jojo had. Maybe if there are some people who would want to come through and also just appreciate and have a good time with these refugees at no cost at all, what should they do? Who should they contact?
They should contact me.
Okay, and how can they reach to you?
They can write to my email, Sina.
Sina?
Yes, at refugeealliance.com.
Okay.
And we are on Facebook, the page of Refugee Alliance. They should just make themselves friends with the Refugee Alliance Facebook. Or write to my mail, Sina at refugeealliance.com.
Okay.
So we're very, very interested in cooperating with more musicians and volunteers.
Okay.
And what we really, really need now is for someone to support the new clinic.
Okay.
Did we tell you that there is no doctor there?
Yeah, you mentioned it as you were explaining.
So that's the current need.
So there's a new clinic that you are bringing in?
We're starting a mobile clinic.
Okay.
Like a well-equipped ambulance with nurses and preferably a doctor. And we'll move around with a tent to use that as a mobile clinic.
All right.
Because the camp is vast. It's like 50 kilometers in diameter.
Okay.
So when a mother is going to give birth to a child, sometimes she will need to walk like 32 kilometers while she's in labor to reach the clinic.
Okay.
And it's not always that it works out really well. We had some deaths.
Okay.
So that's a new thing that we're doing.
Okay. Apart from the government giving support, do we have, and of course now Refugee Alliance, do we have other smaller or bigger organizations that are helping also right there in Maheba camp? Maybe Mr. Steven?
Yeah, there is UNHCR, which is the UN Refugee Agency, and with many of our government offices, which implement the project from UNHCR. Yeah, that's so far those who exist there in Maheba. So we are the only NGO operating in Maheba as for now.
Okay.
A few years ago there was Forge and they left. So as for now it's only Refugee Alliance. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And of course, with this time around, we can open the phone lines and just allow maybe a few calls to come through. Okay. And you are coming through to the number 0962870921. That's the number 0962870921. And my guest today on the radio, I have Refugee Alliance directors. One is the director in Zambia and the other one is the director coming from Norway right here on your radio. And the number is 0962870921. Just chit-chatting here and there, finding out the life that other people have, that the life that we don't even see at all. We take for granted the life that we have. At times we even complain, all right, over certain things when others are not even privileged to have the life that we have. All right. And of course, as we wait for your phone calls, a piece of music coming from the man Jojo Mwangaza. And of course, that song will play in full right here. And talking about Jojo, he's one of those musicians that would perform live and people will be moved like, hey, all right, I can't even explain that. The number is 0962870921. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Oh, someone is not talking. 0962870921. That's the number that you're getting in touch with us live on radio. Text message which says, hey DJ, is that lady and in the studio white? Because her last names are strange. Please answer. All right.
Am I white or brown or beige? I would say beige.
I think you are human. All right. She's from Norway. All right. And of course she belongs to the family of Christians. So that's what is important. All right. You white, red, brown. 0962870921. That's the number that you're getting in touch with us live on radio. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Okay. If you call, please try to speak up. We can barely hear you right here. Maybe as we are waiting, and of course, the emphasis of the point that you want to people to know is that you are welcoming people to come on board and just assist in the works that are going on right there in helping the people at the camp. And of course, the other thing that they need to know is that they can get in touch with you, okay, and maybe you can repeat, okay, before that. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, how are you doing? Your name and where are you calling us from?
From Chiranga.
Okay, and what's your name?
I'm Brian.
Yes, Mr. Brian, go ahead. You are happy. Too bad. All right, Mr. Brian. Thank you so much. It's really good to smile, right? 0962870921. That's the number. And of course, we were talking about how if you can repeat the number, or maybe how people can just get in touch with you.
If someone wants to support and really come on board to make some events and fundraise, that's really, really, really good. That's a gift from God for us. So they could contact us on Facebook, Refugee Alliance Facebook, or they can send a mail to me. That's Sina at refugeealliance.com.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon.
Hello?
Yes, please. Good afternoon. Oh, too bad. We keep losing those calls. The number is 0962870921. That's the number, 0962870921. You're coming to live on radio, and just like I mentioned, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, who do we have on the line?
This is Anna from Jack.
Yes, Anna. You can go ahead.
Yes, if we have things, but we are not on Facebook, how can we find them?
Okay. All right, just keep listening to the radio, all right, Anna?
All right.
Thank you so much. All right, the question is clear. Mr. Stephen Kaumba, maybe you can respond to that one.
Yeah, for those who are not on Facebook, but we still have the phone number that they can call. My number that's is easy to call, +47 41 49 39 51.
Okay.
+47 41 49 3951.
Okay.
That's my number. Anybody could contact me.
Okay.
And we have several projects that will need people to come in. We have the Peace Project, where we have a trauma healing session, conflict analysis and conflict resolutions. We teach and fight against SGBV, and so it's a very good project that we are running in Meheba.
Okay.
We have the microfinance project. And we have reached up to 56 women with loans, and we have the education project, where we offer scholarship, and we have over 82 children who have received scholarship.
Okay, just hold it there. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Please play me Jojo Wangaza.
Okay, thank you. We'll play you Jojo Mangaza. Okay. How old are you?
13 years old.
Okay, thank you very much. Enjoy the day, huh?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right. Hello, good afternoon. I'm fine. You're far away from your mouthpiece. Hello? I can barely hear you. Hello? Yes. Okay, try to call us again, all right? Okay, 0962870921. That's the number. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes, please. Who do you have on the line?
You've got Joy on the line.
Yes, Joy. Go ahead.
I want you to play me Fuidirica by Karen and Mark Fofo.
Okay, and we've been talking about the people coming from Maheba refugee camp. Anything that you have to say about it?
I got nothing to say.
You have nothing to say. All right. Thank you so much for coming, Shu.
You're welcome.
Okay. 0962870921. Okay. Hello, good afternoon. I'm fine. Who do we have on the line?
Natasha, the fourth boy.
Yes, Natasha. Any contributions or comments? Natasha. Oh, too bad we lost. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. 0962870921. Good afternoon. Yes, who do you have on the line?
This is Kaumba.
Okay, where are you calling us from? Okay, any contributions or comments?
Well, I'm very touched with the program and everything. But we take advantage of the freedom.
Okay.
So I would really want anyway. I don't do anyway.
Okay.
I want to help in any way.
Okay.
But as of not doing it, if I can come there and they say, okay, do this kind of a job, just to help. Even if we go, maybe, I'm not yeah.
Okay. No, thank you very much for coming, Hugh. Okay, though you were quite faint. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes, who do you have on the line? You're calling from where? Hello? Okay, try to change the... Hello, yeah, now we can hear you. Mumveka hapa eh. Okay. 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 Yeah, it's true. All right. Zikomo kwambi. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Hello. Good afternoon. Hello. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, boss.
Yes, how are you doing today?
Doc, I'm just fine.
Oh, Mr. Harrison.
Yes, Doc.
Oh, okay, yes, go ahead. Your contribution or comment.
I've just tuned on, sir.
Okay, we've got people from Maheba refugee camp, the people who are helping the refugees right there.
Okay.
So you can just maybe they've been explaining what they do and the challenges that they face. Maybe you can just contribute or say something.
Okay. Morning, panelists.
Afternoon.
Okay. Oh yeah. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Gentlemen.
Gentleman and the lady.
Good afternoon.
Okay. I think they have heard. We are greeting them. No, helping the refugees is a good thing, although it has some challenges in terms of food and health, especially those two things. Yes, and the water sanitation, something like that. So, but we just have to support them. It's a good job. They should keep the same spirit. They'll be awarded when God comes, something like that. So, it's a good move.
Thank you so much, Mr. Harrison, for coming.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
All right. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, afternoon.
Yes, who do you have on the line?
Hello? I'm going to chocolate.
Yes, how are you?
You
You do me a good.
Seriously, Uncle, my dad is good. Bless you.
Okay, Zikomo. Okay, Zikomo.
Okay.
All right. 0962870921. Two more phone calls and then we'll be done right here on your radio. Okay, that's the number 0962870921. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, who do you have on the line?
Susan.
Okay, Susan. Yes. Go ahead. Your comment or contribution?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for coming through.
Hello.
Okay. Hello, good afternoon. All right, I think we seem to have a problem with our phone today. The calls are not very clear. All right, and of course, maybe as we wrap up, let's start with you, Mr. Stephen. What would you really, really love to see change in Maheba camp?
Wow, that's a very good thing. What I would really want to see changed in Maheba camp, it is the health system.
Okay.
And I would wish that we have quite a better health system that can be.
As he had to.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You can have four actually. Being a lady, and we say ladies first.
God bless you. We would like to record a CD because the camp is full of very talented musicians.
Okay.
But they are hidden there. And they're not allowed to go out from the camp. And they're there year after year and nothing's happening in their lives. And so I'd like to record a CD with those very talented young people. That's one. I'd really love for us to have a team of volunteer doctors, like medical doctors. If there is someone in Zambia that would take like 2 days, 2 or 3 times a year, it would really make a huge difference, even that, even 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
So they could just call me.
Okay.
But what can really change the lives of all the refugees is if all of us contribute to reminding them of their value of their worth.
Yeah.
Because in the war, they were humiliated.
Okay.
They were tortured. They lost people. They saw people being killed. So the value of the human life was in a way despised.
Okay.
So when they also face treatment in the camp that is indignified, they are reminded that they are not worth anything. So we want to change that. The opposite. We want to remind refugees that they are made fearfully and wonderfully made. They are made by God, and all of them, even though they're poor, all of them were put into this world by the Almighty God, who wanted exactly them there.
Yeah.
Right? So that shows us that their life has a value, their life has a purpose, and God has a plan for their life.
I'm thinking of a child maybe who maybe saw the father or maybe the parents being killed, and then they are now growing up. And maybe let me ask Mr. Stephen this question. What is their self-esteem like, and how do they look at life in general, and how do they look at people, such children who have seen maybe their parents being murdered in very really terrible ways?
I think that's exactly what Sina was talking about, because in the end they realized that this world has been really unfair to them, and the people have been unjustly treated them, and so they realized that maybe we are not worth living, because none in this world has treated us with dignity. If it truly, for some, they even lose faith in God because of those challenges. I was talking not many days ago to one of the girls who is alone. She's 16. She got pregnant at 14, and she has a child who's 2 years old now. And she lived with her elder sister, and the older sister died, leaving another child behind. And all her parents were killed. So she's grown up with those bad images of seeing her parent killed. And on top of that, being a refugee in the camp, she was raped and got pregnant at 14. You realize that it's like from one bad thing to another. It's like life is going from bad to worse each and every day. So in the end, they lose their dignity. They feel like our lives has no value at all. Has no value at all. And that's why they need our support. They need people to stand closer to them, shoulder to shoulder with them, reminding them that this is only temporary. You are valuable in the eyes of God, and God has a plan for you, a plan to give you hope, a plan to take you out of this situation. Even though you have experienced bad things in your past, even though you have experienced negative things in the past, there is a God who is able to turn all those bad things into good things. There is a God who can turn your bitterness and all your losses into victory again, and your life can be restored once again. They need to receive that word of hope.
Okay, you can finish up now what you want to see change in my head.
I just want people to feel dignified. I want that the youth growing up in Meheba and the old people, I want them to really see that they are valuable, that they're special, that they're unique, that God has not forgotten about them, even if the world has forgotten about them. And I can tell you this, that when Jojo Mwangaza came into the camp, when his full team in his good suit, looking good, singing with his band, people felt that they were worth singing for. So the refugees really felt that the world has not forgotten about us. Jojo comes here to us. I can see him face to face. And he went with us, walking around the camp as we do, and greeted people, went into people's huts, very humble huts. And he went with us around the camp, and we gave out some blankets to those who didn't have that, some clothes, some food. Those practical ways of showing people that they are not forgotten, they are worth, it's worth feeling with them when they're treated bad, when they're suffering, that they're not forgotten. Because I think all of us know that life can be hard sometimes, even for those listeners who are not refugees. Life can be hard, but it really helps not to be alone. It really helps if someone says, "Poor Lesana," to says, I feel with you. I see that you're going through now, but you're not alone. You're not alone. Even if you can't change the situation, just to know that you're not alone, and that to say that one day God will make all things new for you.
All right.
You're in His hands. You're safe.
Thank you so much. And of course, maybe as your last words, what will be your parting shots? Let me start by ending with you. Your parting words are just what you would want to end with.
If anyone out there want to help, there's so much you can do. Like making an event and raising money, like challenging some doctors, to use some days as volunteers. And all of us treat each other with dignity, because even though the person might look poor, dirty, he is made in the image of God. So we say that every person we meet, every refugee we meet, we see Jesus in him, because Jesus said that whatever you did to one of the least of mine, you did it to me. That's why we would not treat Jesus with indignity. We would give him what he needs. When he needs something, we would really care for him gently. So that's how we think. That's why we treat refugees with dignity, and we treat them gently, with love. They're our sisters and brothers. We must not forget about them.
All right. Your parting shots are Mr. Stephen Kaumba.
I would say thanks a lot to Millennium Radio for giving us this opportunity and to share the story of refugees, and to share about the dream that we have, the Refugee Alliance. And thanks to all the listeners and all those who have been asking questions or commenting. Thanks a lot to all of them, and may God bless all of them. And to everybody who really wants to help, we have several projects. In summary, I would say we have a peace project running, and we teach people with a lot of things like trauma healing and peace building skills, reconciliation and mediation skills, and so on. And we have a microfinance project. We give out small loans to single women so that they could run small businesses and be self-sustainable. And we have an education project. We give out scholarship, and we have to date 82 children under our scholarship at primary, at secondary, at high school level. And we will have soon one refugee student at university. And so that's the education project. And we will be launching a mobile clinic in the health sector. So we are asking for people, doctors, nurses, who want to volunteer to come in the camp once a week or maybe once a month. It will make a huge difference in the lives of many. And those who want to support in any way or another, please get in touch with us. We will welcome you, and we will be very grateful for any service that you would love to offer. It's not little. It helps a lot, and it changes lives.
Thank you so much also for coming here and for just appearing on radio and share to the massive listeners out there who are just listening and who maybe might think they have lost it all without knowing that they are actually much better than others who are who don't even have the freedom to even go and look for anything that they might want. Thank you so much. And of course, Mr. Stephen Kaumba, the directors from Refugee Alliance Zambia, and Sina Saltbones, Refugee Alliance Director, were my guests today right here on your radio. Thank you so much, and we wish you God's blessings as you go back and do the various duties that you are carrying out. And you should also know that as Millennium Radio, we are supportive because we are the voice of development. Thank you.
My God is good, He's so powerful. nisika Musuwa zovala ine Nikapempila Nenzo zibati ya zani yanga Nenzo zibati ya zani chosa Mavuto nipita mo Nenzo ziba kutazani pasa Nenzo ziba kutazani yanga Bini bonse ninga phone Bana nisika Manje tati wa